the Detroit Pistons select Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State.
Alright, Pistons fans, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about free agency and the $31.4 million that the Pistons will have available this offseason. Now, before we get into all of that, please make sure you guys like this video. As always, today's like goal is 100 likes, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now, let's get into this. So put the image on the screen right now. This is coming from Keith Smith, NBA reporter, and it says, still only 3 teams projected to have 2022-2023 cap space after projection revised from 119 million to 121 million. And take a look at this. Number 1, the Detroit Pistons, $31.4 million. At 2, we have the Orlando Magic at 28.1. And at 3, we have the San Antonio Spurs at 22.5. Now, first off, look at the gap between the teams at number 1 and number 2, and then all the way down to number 3. 31 million compared to 22 million. 28 million compared to 22 million. So the gap at number 1 compared to number 3 in the rest of the league is huge. Okay, so when it comes to, if we get into a bidding war this free agency, I feel like the Pistons are going to come out on the winning end because we have the most money by far when you compare us to the rest of the league. But I will say, before I move on to my next point, you know, in previous years, you've had guys like Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. All of those guys, they've been in the free agency class before. But this year, the free agency class, I would say that it's about average. It's not the greatest. You have a few guys who can have some impact on the team. But for the most part, this free agency class is average, which is kind of unfortunate that the year when the Pistons have the most money to spend, we have an average class to spend it on. So that's the only unfortunate thing about having the most money at this current point in time. But moving on from that, I also have another piece of information that I want to share with you guys. I know for a fact that they're going to try their hardest to keep him on their roster. So as much as we want Bridges back here, coming to his home and being here in Detroit, it's just going to be hard to get him away from the Hornets, especially since the Hornets have RFA rights on him, which means that they can match any offer that we throw his way. Then you have DeAndre Ayton. I spoke about him a lot in the past as well. I like Ayton, but the problem with him is that he's most likely going to ask for a max contract, the rookie max that is. And for DeAndre Ayton, I just don't believe that he's worth it. And especially when you look at his numbers this season, he's averaging 16 points and 10 rebounds. Last season, 14 points and 10 rebounds. In his sophomore season, 18 points, 11 rebounds. In his rookie year, 16 points and 10 rebounds. So his numbers are solid, but it's near Jerami Grant level. And what I mean by that is, you know, Jerami Grant right now is on a 3-year, $60 million deal. You know, last year he averaged 22 points per game. This year averaging 20 points per game. You know, his numbers are kind of similar to Ayton, you know, outside of the rebounding category. So honestly, Ayton, he should be getting paid slightly above someone like Jerami Grant. But that's not what Ayton's going to want. He's going to want a rookie max. And I just don't believe that he's earned it. Then you have Mo Bamba, who's going to be an RFA. And this is actually a guy who I do believe that the Pistons have a solid chance of getting, because Mo on the Orlando Magic, this season he's had success, but in years past, he just hasn't really gotten much opportunity, you know, back when Vucevic was on the team, to really show his fullest potential off. So he kind of actually is similar to Killian Hayes, where, you know, Killian Hayes, once his rookie contract comes up, if he wants an extension, the Pistons may or may not give it to him, because Killian hasn't proven much on the Pistons so far. And it's the same with Mo Bamba. On the Magic, he hasn't proven much, so I wouldn't be surprised if they let him go to a team like the Pistons. Then you have Colin Sexton. I don't think that that one's going to happen, because we still have to wait and see what Killian Hayes does for the rest of the season. And then also in the draft, you have a guy like Ivy who's coming out, who's a really good scorer. And then also reportedly the Pistons are interested in Jalen Brunson as well, which would be a cheaper option most likely than getting someone like Sexton. So I doubt that the Sexton one is going to happen. Then you have Anthony Simons on the list, another guy who I don't think is going to come because of his team, the Blazers. You know, with the disappointing season that they're having so far, with Damian Lillard getting older and older, they're going to need a replacement eventually. Anthony will definitely become that guy, so they're not going to let him go anytime soon. And then Mitchell Robinson, I have a full video coming out about Mitchell Robinson, and he's actually an unrestricted free agent. So that actually makes it more interesting because it's not like the Knicks could match whatever we have to offer. So we would legitimately have a chance at someone will thank y'all for 4K, and I'm out.